We are recording.
Recording in progress.
I was actually fine. It's only when I sat down and put on my headphones that I start coughing.
Big mistake. Take your
think
headphones off.
I think I'm allergic to the headphones. I really do. I think
Could be that.
these like push all air into me and then
And then it goes.
I breathe through my ears, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
I breathe from my anus.
I think I learned.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Brothers Take podcast. I'm Chris. I'm joined once again by my brothers, Adam
Hello.
and Eric.
Hello.
And we are back in the room this week to talk about a whole load of shit. Loads of shit. Because we've got new music,
Oh yeah.
loads of video game shit to
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about, and TV show. The Last of Us episode 4. We will also be giving our thoughts on those. So we've got loads of stuff to cover in this week's episode, so we won't beat around the bush too much. And you can use timestamps in the description to jump right to the part of the conversation you want to listen to. But of course, if you listen to the whole episode, then we'd love to hear your thoughts on anything that we bring up in this week's episode. So if you watch this YouTube, jump down in the comments to share your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this episode, why not give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring that notification bell for all future content, including the future Last of Us episodes and everything else that will come up in the coming weeks. And to those of you who are listeners on audio platforms, you can also touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take, again, to give your take on everything that we bring up here today. But without further ado, let's not waste any time. Okay, starting with music. Holy fucking shit. Linkin Park have released new song, or an old song, new old song, an old new song, song,
New metal song.
a song,
Old
an
new metal
unreleased
song.
an old new metal. I love it. Yeah, it was an unreleased track from their Meteora days, and it's the lead single basically for their Meteora 20th anniversary edition, which is coming up. You should check that out if you're a Linkin Park fan at all, because the package is fucking insane, crazy. But the track itself, if you haven't listened to it, go check it out. It will, if you grew up with Linkin Park, or if you remember hearing that stuff growing up, it is definitely going to take you back. As a song that you will have never heard before, it is ridiculously nostalgic.
Even the music video.
Yes.
Even the music video. Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, it's breaking the habit, and it's then it's just multiple of their music videos, and it's live in Texas, and so fucking good. I love it. What do you guys think of the song?
Awesome.
It's
Really good song.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's fucking amazing. It's really good.
Yeah.
And it's odd. It sounds, obviously it sounds like that time, but it's fine to release today. It sounds fine. It's great.
Yeah. It doesn't sound just like dated.
No,
Right? Like it
it
doesn't
works.
sound dated at all. It sounds like a modern production song. I found it so fucking crazy though. First of all, that we'd never heard the song before. Like, I think it's crazy that this was never on a Linkin Park Underground or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think that's nuts.
That is a bit
Right?
weird, right?
It's also nuts that it wasn't on Meteora, because I personally think it's better than a couple of the songs that were on Meteora. And then finally, it's fucking crazy. 20 years later and post-mortem to hear Chester singing about the things he's singing about.
Yeah,
And you put it into context as to how old the song is, and then you're like, fucking hell, the stuff he's singing about, though. Do you get me?
yeah. There's an absolute roller coaster of emotion while listening to that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like you're happy, excited, sad, nostalgic. All of it hits you at once while listening to that track.
It's a nice short song too, where it's easy to like replay.
Yeah.
You know, like I've heard it loads of times. So
Yeah, like I just heard it before we started recording, so I'd be a little bit like, okay, gotta play and record, like play and listen to this again, maybe before I go to sleep, or maybe tomorrow morning, or all the time.
yeah,
Because it is nice and quick, and it's a very it does sound straight out of from 20 years ago, but yet it has such a crisp, nice sound to it.
yeah. And I fucking love the bridge. I think it's sick. Like, I know, like, it starts off quite melodic, but it's when he comes in with the harsh vocals
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
and harmonizes, and there's a bit of the chorus in there too. And yeah, there's a line that it's faster first, but then when the harsh vocal comes in, he slows it down to the point where like, so he says, I try to keep the pain inside, right? But then when it gets harsh, it's just, I try to keep the pain.
Mm-hmm.
And it's,
Yeah.
oh, it's so fucking powerful. And it's fucking Chester, man, It's like, that's the kind of shit that, like, can you imagine if that was a song and it was played live and everyone roaring that in a fucking stadium? Like, yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
So fucking good. Can't wait to hear the other unreleased tracks that are coming at Meteor 20.
One thing for me now.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry to be the nitpicker here, though.
No, go for it.
It is missing a bit of a Mike Shinoda rap.
Yeah, do you think so?
Just a little bit in there, doesn't it?
Just
There's a
Yes,
rap a little here.
That little ad lib. Yeah, it's like that old parody and then a rap a little here.
It is, yeah.
But it kind of works, but I hear you. Like, at one point when I was first listening to it, I was thinking, it's like, oh, is there going to be a rap on the bridge? It kind of sounds like there might be. And then there wasn't. But I still think it works.
Around that time when it does show their sort of like anime version of Mike Shinoda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, well, this is obviously when the rap is going to kick in. But I suppose as well, it was around when Meteora was coming out and being made. That's when their producer was trying to get rid of Mike Shinoda, wasn't it? Because he doesn't.
No, I think that was Hybrid
That was
Theory.
even on Hybrid Theory. Yeah, that was the first album.
Yeah, it was before before they were famous.
Wow. Okay, never mind.
What's cool is, and I heard him talk about in an interview, that Meteora is the album that kind of kicked off the whole them documenting how they make albums and how they make songs.
Yeah.
From then onwards. And what I didn't realize, I thought that was just something that they did because of the kind of creative sorts that they are. That was actually because, like, people used to like talk about or make up that on Hybrid Theory that they were a produced band, that people stuck them together and that they didn't write their own songs.
Yeah.
So when they were making Meteora, they were like, not only are we going to show you that we can do that again, we're going to show you how we did it. And we're going to actually record us writing and making the music so that you can't say that we didn't do it. And that's actually where that came from. I think that's fucking nuts.
I like that shit though. I love seeing the, but that fell off, didn't it? It's I think maybe the last time they did that was Living Things, a little bit with Hunting Party, not so much though.
You get little clips of it, but
yeah.
the last time you get it like fully, like an intense actual look at the creating of the album was 1,000 Suns. So there's a great making of Meteora, Minutes to Midnight, and 1,000 Suns. You actually get full like documentaries of the three of those, and then with the other ones, they just had like random YouTube clips and things like that.
I think
but
YouTube
you never get
killed.
a full.
Killed that, didn't it? Because
they're
not the only band that stopped doing making of DVDs, in favor of short little YouTube clips.
Yeah,
it's not great.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, let us know if you've checked out Lost by Linkin Park. What do you think of it? Jump down in the comments or get in touch on social media. Let us know. And what's your favorite track from Meteora? Let us know. That's not what your favorite track from Meteor is. When it comes up to because we did it for Hybrid Theory, so when the 20th anniversary actually comes up, we'll do a whole Meteor 20th anniversary.
I wonder if anyone out there is like Session.
Let's do it.
Session's my favorite song off Meteor.
Well, do you remember like my mate Cure for the Itch was his on Hybrid Theory, so maybe
Cure for the Itch has a little bit more going for it, I think, than Session.
Session's a great song.
It's okay.
It's just noises.
It's good for the session now. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah.
Didn't it feature in the Matrix Reloaded soundtrack?
Was it Reloaded? Yeah, I think it was Reloaded.
Not actually in the film, but just on the
it's in the credits.
Oh, it's in the credits.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah,
and it has at the end it has that there's a sound effect at the end of Session that's the Matrix.
It is the Matrix. Yeah, it's 100% the Matrix.
So that's the thing. Every time I hear Session, I think the Matrix. So I quite like it as an instrumental. It's a good jam. So cool. Moving on to gaming then. There was a Nintendo Direct during the week. Let's talk about that very briefly. I don't think there's a lot to be said personally, but then that's just me. I don't know about you guys. You guys actually have Switches, so I think when you guys are watching Nintendo Direct, there's actually a chance that something might appeal to you that you're like, oh, I might buy that game or whatever. Like when I watch one, I just go, is this the one that's going to convince me to get one, to get a Switch, so that I can play some of these games? It hasn't happened yet.
Like at this point, Chris, it's not going to happen.
I don't
It's
think
pretty
so.
clear that this is the last batch of games essentially before we get the next Switch. I think they're at the.
Yeah, do you think so?
Yeah, I think they're at the end of it now.
Well,
Right.
it's just constantly expanding everything. Is it? Here's a new expansion. Here's another expansion. Whoa, oh, you called it. It's an expansion with a little bit of a click at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Nintendo Direct kind of summarized.
But I think I'm finding
Except
that.
for Fashion Dreamers.
Oh
It's
yeah.
awesome.
I think I'm finding that I'm just not a Nintendo guy, I guess, because like I've seen online people love this Direct.
Yeah,
I've
I'm
seen lots of
shocked by
praise for
the.
it. People are like, "Oh, this is the best."
I
isn't
was
it?"
really shocked
But-
by that.
So that speaks to me that it's like it's not that maybe the content is bad. It's that the content is just not for me. I'm just not interested in it. Like maybe if this was like again, if it was a PlayStation one, and like the big draw was like, oh, here's loads of classic PlayStation games, maybe I'd be like, wow, crazy, you know?
Yeah, it's probably not for you because to be honest, the only two games that would probably interest you would be The Legend of Zelda and Octopath Traveler. But that's
Yeah, I
only
did
two
think
games,
Octopath Traveler
so-
2 looked great.
But that's on Game Pass. so-
But then it's on Game Pass. Yeah, so Tears of the Kingdom, that's like a direct sequel.
Mhm.
That's what I got from that.
Oh yeah.
Tears
yeah.
of the Kingdom, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yep.
And this was,
Tears of the
I know
Kingdom?
this is a big one for a lot of people this year, but this was in your top 5 most anticipated games of the year. So having seen this now, like, did this trailer hype you up?
No, it confused me.
Okay. In what way?
Something about the trailer just didn't feel like it's the next big entry into the world of Legend of Zelda. It felt like here's an expansion. It's like if it was an expansion, it's an awesome trailer. It's a pretty good trailer, but like this is supposed to be the next thing. So it just felt that's what I'm saying. I'm watching it going. So this is a sequel. I'm very confused by that. Like, is it direct sequel? Like, because I mean, it's pretty much the same map, a lot of the same technology, same clothes, same voice actors, same enemies, the same red moon that comes up and empowers the enemies and stuff. So I was like,
I'm confused that you were confused by that.
Yeah, I thought
well,
it was
Legend
very.
of Zelda doesn't really ever do direct sequels.
I thought it was very clear all along, though,
Yeah.
that this was Breath of the Wild 2.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I just kind of thought, like, yeah, it would come off from Breath of the Wild or take inspiration from Breath of the Wild, but not necessarily be a direct sequel.
Right. So
Well-
now that it has confirmed that it is.
I'll
is
still
that
get
like-
it.
Oh, okay. You're still like
I'll
on board
still
for it.
get it. I like Legend of Zelda. You know, I think it's pretty
Yeah.
cool. It's a great way to keep in shape.
Adam, I know you played Breath of the Wild too, right? Is this
No, I Breath of the Wild 1. But
no?
He meant
You fucker!
I don't know if I'll get it. I think I'll
Wow.
I'll hold off to see. Only because I'm a little. I don't know if I'm wanting to get a big game like this. You know, I'm finding it difficult to get through some of the games that I already have. You know, and there's a
this
lot
year
of
is nuts.
other games coming out, so I just don't know if I'm gonna have the time for it. But I never I played the Breath of the Wild pretty late into its life cycle anyway, so I didn't get that the minute it came out. So I'm happy enough to wait. It's not as if anything in Zelda could ever really be spoiled on you, because it's all about the gameplay. That's the bit that, you know, more so than the story. But I'm a little concerned about the performance of games recently on Switch. So I would like to see, well, what are everyone saying? Like, does this hold up? Or will there be a new Switch and this will be the game that will run fine on that, let's say. But I'm still fucking waiting for Wind Waker HD, you know? I'm just, that's what I want.
I know.
I'm so pissed
I want
off.
that for you. Like, I will get excited the day that there's a Nintendo
Yeah.
Direct where that is announced, even though it's like, well, I won't be playing it.
I thought it was a
Again, I don't
no-brainer.
have a-
I fucking bought a Switch thinking that was absolutely going to happen.
Well, it would be that and Twilight Princess, right? Like you would announce the two of them in one fell swing. I
Yeah.
would think.
And they brought out Twilight Princess.
Is that available on Switch? I didn't
Yeah.
think it was. I thought they brought it on Wii U, right?
Yeah, I know.
Before that.
Yeah. It was Wind
So you
Waker.
can get Twilight Princess on the Switch.
Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD were both released for the Wii U, and as a package, mind you,
Right.
and
But then they
only
only ported.
Twilight Princess on the Switch. And
that
then
is nasty.
and then they brought
Why
out
is-
Skyward Sword.
Lads, what are you doing?
Where the fuck is Wind? I want Wind Waker.
Why?
He wants
why
Wind
is
Waker,
it
guys.
Wind Waker and Twilight Princess? Why are they the two being packaged together?
Because they understood that those are the best.
Well, they were just well, it was Wind Waker first, and then a few years later they brought out Twilight Princess, but then they brought a package where you can get the two of them together. Kind of like you
That's
can.
a-
Is
package.
Wind Waker the one before Twilight Princess? In chronological order of when the games were released,
Yes.
not within the
in
timeline
on the
actual
on the
history.
home consoles. Yes.
Yeah, there wasn't there
right,
like
that makes more
Nintendo
sense.
DS versions in between or
Yes,
something
because
Well,
like
like Link's Awakening and all.
There
that
were
stuff.
sequels to Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass, and something else. Spirit Tracks.
that. And wasn't it something Dark Side, something complete, and something like that?
Spirit Tracks. That was it.
But see, like the thing is, the reason I was somewhat confused by I loved Ganon. Ganon was awesome. Give me more tasty zombie Ganon. In Tears of the Kingdom, whatever it's called. Is just because like they've never really done apart from Phantom Hourglass and what did you say? Spear Tracks?
Spirit.
What did you say?
Spirit Tracks.
Spirit Tracks? Never mind, actually, my entire point is ruined because there's two sequels to Wind Waker.
A Majora's
Plus,
Mask is
but
a
Majora's Mask is a sequel to Ocarina of Time.
yeah.
Oh.
They have done sequels.
And actually, The Legend of Zelda 2, I think, is a sequel to The Legend of Zelda.
What? Shut the fuck up. Okay,
Don't
yeah,
pull
but hold
that
on.
bullshit because they're all fucking sequels to the first leg. Well, actually, Skyward Sword is not because that's a prequel.
That's a
Someone
prequel.
to be fair, just because it's called 2 or whatever, like someone could think that well maybe it's following a similar pattern as say, Final Fantasy 2. Yes, it's a sequel to Final Fantasy 1, but also no it's not, Like
That's
story-wise,
that's how I usually view Legends of
Yeah,
Zelda. It's
gotcha.
like it has a lot of the same
standalone
qualities,
experiences.
but it is still a standalone experience. Same
Yeah,
world,
yeah,
but
gotcha.
somehow they changed the topography and geography of the world and the religion and the cities and the people, and somehow it's still the same world.
But there will always be Link, there will always be Zelda, and there will always be Ganon. That's kind of
Yes.
that's the
No. I think there's a few where Ganon's not
yeah,
around.
but for the most part,
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Well, okay, well, Nintendo Direct didn't really like blow us away, but it seems to have blown a lot of other people away. So let us
I
know
just hate
if
the format.
yeah, I'm not into it.
I don't like it.
With the guy with the clicking.
But that and State of Play and stuff like that, it's just because I feel like I'm in Starship Troopers. Would you like to know more? It lacks a personality. There lacks someone to like
Take you on this journey.
yeah.
I think sometimes they nail it, and sometimes, most of the time, they do not. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just have a presentation where the stuff is so good that you forget that there was ever anyone or no one showing it to you. But when the content isn't there and it's lacking personality, it really shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because half of those games that
Kinda
they
not
showed,
so-
I didn't know what the hell was going on.
I don't
It's
give
just,
a fuck about
it's just,
Pikmin
just
4.
a lot of fucking slash noises and people talking, and it's like, and then just really loud orchestra music over the
Sure.
dialogue, and you're like,
Yeah.
I have no idea what the fuck this is. What the hell's going on?
I wonder if Metroid Prime Remaster was the thing that excited a lot of
That, and
a lot
I'd
of
say
old
the
school
Game
Nintendo
Boy
fans,
stuff, like
the Game Boy stuff, I think,
yeah, yeah.
And then anyone who is like just, Tears of the Kingdom is their most anticipated game of the year. Anything that they see at all, I imagine, is like a slam dunk for them anyway.
Yeah.
And having that hard release date, I suppose, is exciting. But let us know yourselves, like, if you're big Nintendo fans, did this Direct excite you, and what in particular from it excited you? So again, YouTube, jump down in the comments. or audio platforms. Get in touch, social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take. But speaking of very large games, Adam, you mentioned that there's like too many games to get through, and you don't know if you want to jump into more big games. One of the big games that released in the last week was Hogwarts Legacy, and we've all gotten our copy of it. We've all been playing a bit of it, so there'll be no kind of spoilers and things here, but just kind of our general first impressions of Hogwarts Legacy. I don't know how much any of us have actually gotten around to playing, but I think all of us have at least started it and gotten into it a little bit. Oh, 3 times.
Platinum.
Like the new game plus is awesome. You got a car, you go going around, you GTA everyone. It's awesome.
That's crazy. Cars weren't even like really invented yet in this.
But it's new game plus. No one really thinks about new game plus. Yeah.
Sure. So yeah, let's give our first impressions then of Hogwarts Legacy. Eric, why don't you start us off?
Everyone's too nice.
In the game?
Yeah, in the game. Yeah. Everyone's just like way too like friendly, and it's just like I am actually off put by this friendliness. So it's like nice when the villains show up because it's like there we go. It's like there's something bad going on because other than that, everyone's like, oh, well done, you're amazing. It's like, why are you so nice? Where's the bully? I'm in school. Why is no one trying to pants me or something? But I think
I actually understand what
it needs an element of Rockstar in there, does it?
yeah, that's what it's kind of. The reference of GTA.
You get 4 stars, the Aura start chasing you. You get 5 stars, just Dementors on your ass.
That's not bad.
But I really liked. I really liked the graphics and the exploring. Like it makes you feel like a student at Hogwarts. I think.
Yeah, it makes you feel like a wizard.
Actually,
that's totally wizard,
guys. I like the spells. I like
the way you map the spells is really cool. I totally get what you're saying though about people being too nice. I had this thought. I was like, this is gonna sound weird. I don't know if anyone gets where I'm coming from. The game is like a JRPG, and I mean like the like atmosphere and vibe of a JRPG, except okay, so it's an ERPG. Everyone's like super English, but like overly friendly, overly charming, overly fantastical, and you have to just kind of separate. Like this is not like sort of Naughty Dog writing where like this is how people would behave or actually talk to each other. So you just go, cool, I'm being teleported to a fantasy world, and it's all like very whimsical and charming, and you know, in the same way as, you know, if you want, like, so that's why you're compared to like a JRPG, where it's like, this is super fun to play. I kind of hope nobody walks in though. Sometimes it's a bit cringy.
Well, I was like, at first I was like, whatever. This is it's Harry Potter. This is for children, so I'm okay with it. But I just before coming on, I was playing a little bit, and one of the characters was called someone else a bastard. So I
had that as well.
I was like, what?
But then you go, wait, what?
What age is this game?
Yeah, so there is some stuff that some characters do, like cursing or what some of the villains do. You're kind of a bit like, okay, grown up, and then you go back to class and you're like, okay, everyone's a child. There's a bit of a tone clash going on here, but you know what? That's Harry Potter.
Yeah. But I'm finding the exploration,
love it,
fucking super fun, really fun. That's the thing I'm enjoying the most, I think, and also like the really clever ways that they are utilizing like the lore.
Yes,
very clever, especially as like gameplay stuff. But like, for example, so this is non-spoiler stuff because this is like mechanics, but flu powder being used as fast travel is like
genius.
That's genius. Or like Petrificus Totalis being a stealth takedown.
Yeah,
that's genius. Like these little things that I would never think was like.
You guys are further than me, then.
Well, I see as well. I've seen someone else play.
Okay,
and they're further than I am, so I've seen some of that. Or also like, what was it? There's a moment. I don't want to spoil anything. It's very early on. Basically, there's a moment where something is revealed, and it's fucking super clever the way in which it's revealed. I think. You know, like you know Thestrals,
Oh
Yes, that was
Harry
that was
That
great.
was
That
incredible.
a great moment.
The opening,
Genius.
the opening is
Good moment.
amazing.
The opening was fucking genius.
The opening's really
So-
good.
So I saw that moment. And went, that is fucking awesome.
They know the makers clearly know this world and everything that's included. It's not just like because I was thinking like you know when you're playing a game and someone has a mission for you, right, and their voice will appear in your ear, right? So like when you're playing Spider-Man, it's like a little earpiece. Now I don't really think that's inherently Spider-Man-ish to have an earpiece. I mean,
No.
maybe in like the comics or cartoons, eventually he got that. I see that more as a modern Marvel thing, like with Friday.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's
Iron
not
Man type thing.
generally Spider-Man's not talking to someone in an earpiece, but they need it for the game, right? So he's getting like
Sure.
the radio channels and shit like that. And so that's in a lot of games. Metal Gear Solid, he has got an earpiece and all that kind of stuff. So in this, like, you're occasionally walking around and it's like you hear a voice of someone's saying, go meet such and such a person. And they're using the mechanic of, like, I don't know if there's an equivalent of a good howler, but it's pretty much a howler, right? It's your letters being delivered to you and it's speaking to you. Like, that is, it's so clever the way they implement.
Yeah. There's a lot of really clever stuff here. That's not to say though as well, like in my first impressions of this, like I don't think this is like a masterpiece game, right? Like I think there's like things where I personally don't think the graphics are incredible. I think they're fine. I don't know if I have some bad settings or something like that, but I'm playing on PS5 and this looks like a PS4 game. Like I don't think it looks like the next generation.
Well, I think it is a
games.
PS4 game, isn't it? I think it's being
so.
held back a little bit by the
And
previous
and you
gen.
have that thing of like sometimes there's loading screens at doors and that kind of holds you back a little
Oh,
bit.
that was really weird.
Yeah.
I
'Cause
can
at
see
first
that.
I
that
didn't
kind
know.
of stuff.
I can see that
At
being
first, I didn't know
patched.
what the hell
though.
was going.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like at first I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was like, oh, this door must be locked, and all of a sudden it opened. And it was only as time went on, I went, there's a fucking loading screen in front of this door. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very weird.
But those nitpicks aside, I'm enjoying the overall experience, and it is that thing of like I love the gear system even, for example, where you can put gear on your character that gives you certain stats, but you can change how it looks by picking one of the other pieces.
I only fucking discovered that there just before coming on.
Oh really?
Yeah, because I was like, I was collecting all this shit, and I was like, how do I equip this? Like, after collecting this thing, it's like, how do I actually equip it? So I think that could be a little clearer as to how. I don't think that's overly clear, but once I've done that, I'm like, oh, thank fuck, because my guy looked like an idiot.
Yeah. But I love that you can do that because then you're like, so my character can still look how I want them to look, but they can still progress with stats. Like I think that's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
I think the first game I ever saw doing that was Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Oh really? That did that as well?
Odyssey.
So Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, they both do that where you can end up putting on some weird unicorn outfit because it was a certain festival on Earth that celebrates unicorns, let's say, right? So they introduced that, and so you get that, and then you can go, well, I don't want to look like a unicorn right now when I'm raiding this village because I'm a Viking or I'm a Spartan or something. So you can then change its appearance to look more the way you want it, but keep the stats. So I didn't notice that first in Assassin's Creed, and I was like, that's awesome. And then I saw this, and I was like, awesome.
There's a little bit of
More
that as well
RPGs
in Destiny 2. I can't remember it in the first one. Yeah, where you can kind of repaint your equipment and stuff like that. And I'm bringing that up because I get a lot of Destiny vibes off the game in terms of the interface, the way gear is equipped. Even just the way you're running around, it almost feels like when you're running around in the hub world in Destiny.
Yeah.
And I think actually one of the I think I saw on Twitter, I can't remember if he's like this mission writer or something like that, as from coding side of things. I think he did work on Destiny. I think there's a couple of Bungie people that came over onto this.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm enjoying the combat as well, I have to say.
I think
it's only going to get more interesting when you have more spells to cycle through. and then you can start, shooting out some combos and stuff. I find there's a little bit of level gating. I don't like that at times, but I suppose maybe there's many complicated. Like for example, there was like a quest you could go do as a main quest,
Right.
and there was an optional side quest or like it wasn't listed as a main quest to go do certain class assignments or whatever. And went to do the main quest, and it was like, no, you need to do those side quests first.
Right.
Oh,
So I'm like,
yeah.
I don't like that. You shouldn't have to do side stuff. Then that should have just been a main quest.
Okay.
Because I got to do the main quest and then I had to backtrack. You know what I mean? So, but that's like a little small thing again. Like, but I'm loving like, I'm even seeing like I'm putting the pieces together in terms of how they're using the lore's gameplay mechanics. I'm seeing locks and locked doors. I'm like, great. So when I learn a hello Amora, that's going to be my lockpick in this world. Like,
Yeah.
that's going to be fantastic. Like that's fantastic. Just those, like the way they're using the lore as gameplay, I think is great.
There's a couple of locked doors I've come across, and I'm looking at them going, I think I have solved this.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
the arithmetic doors, I think they're called, or something like that.
Yes, where fucking solved the maths equation, and it won't let me in, and I'm
Right.
like,
No, there's a code.
do I need a
You
spell?
can find
Does
you
this
find a
become
code.
side mission?
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of thinking.
Where the hell do you find the codes?
Honestly, the building like that, I'm not used to walking around Hogwarts at all.
Yeah.
I get lost so easy, so I can't point that to you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Well, again, these
Fair
are
enough.
just first impressions for Hogwarts Legacy. We will be talking about this game more later on in the line when we're much further into it, or maybe when we've all completed the main story, we might do like a spoiler cast of it. Because I'm intrigued as well by one thing I always liked about the Harry Potter movies, especially the earlier ones, was like the mystery element that they kind of had
Right, yeah.
throughout. So I'm quite into like the little mystery that they're sewing in to this.
All right.
whole
I don't think I've
stuff.
gotten
I'm like,
into it enough to hook me yet on that side of things, but I can see
Right, yeah,
myself sinking a lot of hours into it, just seeing like, oh, what's down there.
yeah.
I am surprised at just how much is in it.
There's so much. Yeah, there's so much. in
Like,
this game.
there's so much detail in the castle.
Yeah.
Like,
I love the
And every
armored
room
suits.
looks
They're
different.
hilarious.
Like it's not like they just copy like there's so many different paintings and walls and murals and staircases and
Yeah.
statues, and it's not like you go into another part and it's like, well, right, so they kind of copied pasted that wall there.
yeah.
Like,
So it's just I'd
castle
be
is
interested to
incredible.
see what the PS4 and the Xbox One versions are going to look like when they
Yeah,
release.
yeah.
You know, how dumbed down are they going to be? I imagine it's not going to be as packed because there's a ton of people. It's not an empty castle. There's so much people
No,
in
there's
it.
a lot of people around. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just really impressed that there's just so much to do in it, and it almost feels like God of War in that sense when you kind of walk down that area and you realize there's more. You know, like I actually just thought it was only going to be Hogwarts and Hogsmeade. I going into it, that's what I thought it was going to be. I didn't realize there was a lot more than that.
Yeah, it's huge. It's
a
genuinely
big map.
massive.
Huge area.
What I'm enjoying about it as well, as a small segue, is it's kind of relaxing.
Yeah.
It's kind of,
It's not Dead Space.
It's nice break from Dead Space, which I had been playing as well, and I just want to like no spoilers here, or like I'm not going to get deep into Dead Space, because we had talked about it before. Eric gave his first impressions of it, and later on down the line, I think we should talk about Dead Space.
Yeah.
It is fucking incredible, absolutely incredible. EA Motive fucking killed it on this game. I actually think like Eric gave it a lot of praise, but I actually think Eric undersold how good this remake is. If this is now, I think, the definitive way to play Dead Space. It is better than the original, but honoring the original. It is better than any of the other Dead Space games that were made. It is honestly terrifying. So fucking scary. I had to take breaks. I am actually glad to play Hogwarts Legacy now as something that's like, oh, this is nice. Because like, I know like, you're saying everyone's too polite. And I'm like, oh, thank God everyone's so polite. Because like, this is like,
Yeah,
oh, I need that break. Because
that's
the
really funny
Ishimura
because
is terrifying.
it's really funny because when you dropped back Dead Space to me because you decided you were going to get your own copy and you didn't want to clear
yeah,
the
I'm
game,
definitely
and
gonna buy it.
you got Hogwarts Legacy and everything. When I got that, I was like, "Oh, thank God, a break from all those nice people. Let's go fucking kill something. Let's go rip something apart now."
Yeah,
Would
no,
that be
I was like,
the best
Space
game
again.
you've played this year then?
Dead
so
Space
far,
remake.
Dead
Dead
Space, yeah.
Space.
Yeah.
I haven't finished it, so I got quite far. I got to like, if you guys remember the original, I beat the Leviathan, which is like the end of like chapter 6, and you have to
Chapter
like, isn't it? And you have to like shoot it out an airlock or something like that.
All right.
Um,
My memory of
it's
the
like a
first
big-
one's very sketchy, but
big boss fight, but so it's
a
like
big giant thing on the wall
yeah,
and
it's
tentacles
big
pop out.
significant like boss fight.
yeah.
So that's where I got to, and I was like, right, this is like, I think it's like the halfway point in the story. And then because I knew Hogwarts Legacy was going to be out, and I knew I was going to be playing that for a long time. I was like, I don't want to be holding on to, because I borrowed the copy from Eric. Because like, I don't want to be holding on to his copy though, because he might want to be jumping into New Game Plus and stuff. So I was like, so I am going to buy Dead Space. It is fucking great, but it is scary, and
It's great having your man react to everything though, isn't it?
yeah,
It's
no,
great actually
honestly,
having a
having
voice
Isaac
actor, yeah.
Clarke talk, having him actually make suggestions, so it's not just people going, Isaac, this thing's broken. I'll tell you what you should do. Like, having people go, shit, Isaac, this thing's broken, and having him go, okay, I think I can fix it. And I go, no, Isaac, they'll kill you. And he's like, but if I don't fix it, we're all dead anyway. And you're like, yeah, that makes sense. He's the engineer. He's making suggestions. He's deciding he's going to do this. He's not talking all the time, but when he does, it makes a lot of sense. And they've moved things around a little bit. Yeah, they've done a wonderful job. I think play Dead Space, guys. I've seen like lots of like 9s out of 10s and things like that. Deserved. Absolutely deserved. This is like Resident Evil 2 remake quality. It is great. So yeah, that's just a quick little. Sorry.
Adam can't wait to not play that game.
Yeah.
Oh, honestly, even if I never finish it, it was fucking amazing. You know, and I'm already thinking like, you know, as I play games, I'm kind of thinking like when we get to the end of the year and like the Game Awards and stuff like that, I'm already thinking, man, if this is not up for and God knows what other games come out and have, you know, great things, or whatever. And I'm not saying it should win any category yet because it's far too early to say that. But if this is not up for sound design,
yeah.
as like just as a contender, I'll be shocked. The sound design is incredible, and something that's really interesting. They've made all the anti-gravity sequences in this remake are way better than the original. Like just the way they've done it. This studio are working on an Iron Man game next, and as I'm playing it, I'm going, I can see that. I can see how you're going to make that Iron Man game in this. Yeah. So that's interesting. So we're going to move on to now our thoughts on The Last of Us episode 4. This will probably be our shortest segment in terms of talking about The Last of Us, but it was the shortest episode to date. Just before we do, anyone who's like keeping an eye on certain games, keep an eye out this month on both IGN and Game Informer. Game Informer are doing some coverage on Resident Evil 4. So there's some great stuff coming out on that. So do check that footage out. And IGN are doing great coverage on Star Wars Jedi Survivor. So keep your eye out on that. So many fucking games this year. But now we're going to be giving, and this will have spoilers because it's been out a good week now. So we're going to be giving our spoiler thoughts. And even now, episode 5 will have been out too, but we'll hold off on that till the following week. Our spoiler thoughts on episode 4 of The Last of Us. What did you guys think?
I think, forget everything I said about the last episode. Because my worries with the last obviously episode 3 was fantastic, but my worries of including it was that it took away from Joel and Ellie, and I don't know whether or not we'd be able to establish a good relationship between those two characters. Well, we were proven wrong, Chris. I know what you're thinking, but we were proven wrong. Episode 4, I don't know how they managed to do that in such a small episode, but yes. I believe that those characters have a connection, and I can see that growing, and yeah, This
Yeah,
is
I think
definitely the
that-
closest episode to the game. I felt. I think this one was closer even than episode 2. In terms of dialogue, I mean, they included the
They did
bye
the scene.
dude.
I'm happy. They did the scene.
Yeah.
The bad
Yeah, they did.
dude. We were worried in the last episode they weren't going to do it, and they fucking did it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I thought it was a stellar episode. I really liked it, and I think keep going, guys. Keep doing what you're doing.
nice.
Yeah.
Eric's face looked like he wasn't in total agreement there. I could be wrong, but
Right. So Bella Ramsey, I think the more it's going on, the more it's like she's doing a great job. She's really bringing Ellie to life.
yeah, she's
Especially with
brilliant.
that sequence, especially with the jokes and everything like that. Like I love, yes, the connection with them is really established, especially with jokes. Everyone loves a good dad joke. It's brilliant. Or shit joke, or whatever you want to call it. So that's great. And even the bit when she talks about the diarrhea being hereditary.
Yeah, because it runs in your
They're all
genes.
laughing like it's brilliant.
And I laughed.
Yeah. So there's still there is still some stuff that was just like unnecessary to include. Like it's still taking up time that there wasn't needed to take up time.
Right.
Like when he goes to the bridge and the bridge is barricaded, then he's like, "Screw it," and he drives back. And I'm like, okay, that's actually in the game, but it goes straight away from barricaded to drive down a road to the ambush. There was no getting there, in the game. There's no getting out of the car and checking all the other cars and then getting back in and then turn around and driving off. Like, it just went from boom to boom. And I just think they could have just kept that in the show. Didn't have to change it, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
I don't like
So you think-
Catherine. I'm gonna put it there. I do not like Catherine, and I kind of think that the guy playing Tommy should be the guy in charge because
Is her
that's
name-
Tommy voice.
It is.
Yeah,
It is the guy
yeah,
that does
yeah.
Tommy. Is it Catherine or Kathleen?
Don't know. Not sure. I just know her as
Straight off Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy. Is she in that? I know her from Two and a
Was
Half
she in-
Men.
No, she just no.
Oh.
No, right.
Sorry.
Okay. Right. She seems like something that's straight from Grey's Anatomy.
Oh,
That's what I mean. Like I'm not threatened by her.
Sure.
I'm at no
Okay.
point am I going, I can't take your threats seriously because I kind of want to laugh at you, to be honest. And then Tommy comes around. I'm like, I'm scared of him. Why is he not in charge?
Yeah. She reminded me of like straight out of The Last of Us Part 2, really.
Yeah.
She
I
seems
think
like a
they're-
character from that.
I'm intrigued to see why they've included her. I don't think she's supposed to be scary. I don't think that's
I don't
the
think
intent
so.
at all.
I think Eric has a point though in that she's not necessary because I don't see her sticking around after the next episode. So it's
hard
just
to know, isn't
another
it?
character that goes. I
Yeah.
really don't see her sticking around.
I
Because,
think
like-
it's creating this like unnecessary complication of like, oh, Henry sold out her brother, and so now she wants to hunt down Henry. Oh, look, now she has a motivation. I was just like, but if you take that city, that QZ that it's based off of,
Mhm.
they were just brutal survivors that turned cannibalistic, right?
Mhm.
So they were David's crew. So why not just have David here?
Yeah, I was always
And why
confused. So I
not-
always,
why not
are they
just
David's crew
have-
in the game?
Are they?
I thought they were. I thought they were kind of. They followed them from.
I always thought that too.
Not
And then
from
I- and
there
then,
though, right? It's
as
from
I was watching
the
this, is it from
university.
the university?
University. I
David's
think
crew.
is David's crew.
But they do look the
Oh.
same, right? Like they look like the
Yeah,
same.
yeah. They all look the same.
Right.
Yeah.
So in
NPCs
the
look
game,
the
it makes it seem like it's all the same group.
Yeah,
So it's kind of confusing.
I think in the show they're somewhat basing them off the wolves.
Yeah, I think they're trying to maybe humanize them a
Yes.
little
They're
bit.
humanizing the
give
enemies.
them-
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm intrigued to see where it goes. But yeah, maybe in terms of like they're not the main villain, I guess. And I suppose at this
No.
point they're a bit like the others from Lost, but even when you were introduced to Ben, you were kind of like, you still didn't know about them. There was kind of like a mystery to them, and perhaps the hunters, is that what they're called, the hunters? They should be still mysterious at this point, and you don't know their motives, and you're just afraid of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose I wouldn't have given these people a leader at all. I wouldn't have even shown a leader. I don't think it's necessary. I think they're just people that run into Joel and Ellie and try to take their shit and are driving around in the thing. And I don't think we need to know who their leaders are, what their motivations are, to be honest.
I love the bit with the chap who gets shot in the spine and he can't move. That's a great sequence. I really like that.
Ellie's
but I
shot?
think, yeah, when Ellie shoots him in the spine and he's begging, he wants to go back to his mom, and he's like, "Oh, I'll forget about this." And it's brilliant. And I was like,
You didn't like that scene?
No.
I love that scene.
No.
I thought it was a great scene. I thought that was enough of development for the group that you needed. I don't think you needed any more than that.
Yeah,
because
I agree there.
Getting more of it means that you kind of now know he's telling the truth. I think if you didn't know that, it could still be like the guy's just lying about his mom and the guy's just lying.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah.
I think the reason I didn't like that was, one, I loved Ellie's first shot in the game, right? I shot the hell out of that guy, huh? And I was kind of hoping that would be that moment.
Right.
And the second is, I think they're trying very hard in that moment to make Joel be a not so nice person to justify what happens to him. Because they've been trying to do that in Last of Us Part 2, right? Even in interviews, if you listen to them, they keep saying, but he's not a nice guy, you know? Like, and it's like,
that's a weird perspective.
It is. I think
it's Joel that way.
I don't see Joel that way either, and I just
now I do understand that Joel has done bad shit to survive.
Yep.
And no one would excuse that shit. But yeah, the story of The Last of Us Part 1 is Joel re-finding humanity after losing it. That is the storyline.
Yeah.
And he does so through the protection of a young girl.
But
selfish, but in a way that's like,
you can understand
wouldn't everyone be? Right? Wouldn't everyone be that?
Yeah,
selfish?
A parent
like,
will do anything.
We'll see that when we get to the end, right?
A parent would wipe out all of humanity to protect their child if they have to.
So I have two nitpicks about this episode, right? Because I've only kind of agreed or disagreed with you so far. I haven't actually said anything. Not crazy about the Kathleen character. I don't think there's anything wrong with the character either, but just to me seems like an unnecessary addition more than anything else. So maybe they'll do something with her in the next episode. They'll be like, "Oh, wow, incredible! Now I'm glad they included her." But I'm like, there's enough going on that we don't need more faces that just come and go and come and go. It seems every episode there's someone that gets introduced is going to die, you know, in such a short series. And the other nitpick is too short. I wanted to keep going.
Yeah, it's too short.
I really wanted to meet Henry and Sam because other than that, this is my favorite episode. Bang! You weren't expecting that, were you? Fucking awesome!
I think it was my favorite as well.
I love this episode. The whole conversation in the car was great. The relationship built between Joel and Ellie. Them sleeping out in the woods, which is a new scene, but I found it was a pivotal scene where she was like, "Are we okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course we're okay." But then he gets up and stays to watch all night. And we're starting to get the hints of the "I'm not worried about the infected, I'm worried about people" type thing going on. So yeah, it's only like when it ended, I was like, no, don't end there. I wanted to get to Henry and Sam. Again, this is a thing of like, so now we're going to meet them in the next episode and then they'll probably be gone by the end of the episode.
Yeah.
I'm like, can we not spend 2 episodes with people?
Yeah.
My prediction is that this episode is the end of summer. So, and then what we have is 4 more episodes. So then we have 2 episodes for August or autumn, 1 episode for winter, 1 episode for spring. That's my prediction.
I actually think it's 1 episode for autumn, 2 for winter, 1 for spring.
What are you saying, Adam?
Trying to think what the fuck happened in autumn. Well, you have to do the Tommy's Town thing. So maybe 2 for autumn. Actually. 2 for autumn, 1.5 for winter. The last half is spring.
Ooh, that's different.
Like it ends.
Yeah, maybe.
Like but that last episode will be like the way Stranger Things was, kind of a thing. It's longer than any of the other episodes were, and that last half hour is actually like an epilogue.
Gotcha. Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
You might be on the ball.
Right.
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
can't
maybe.
see. Yeah, I can't see Winter all being one episode
It's too
because
much
I think
there.
Left Behind is an episode.
Yeah, it is.
I think there's a whole episode basically without Joel,
Yeah.
and then there's an episode with David and all that, and Joel doing the torture scene and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like I think Left Behind will end with Ellie getting taken, and then the next episode will be Joel finally waking up and going back together, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I think will
really
happen.
wish this show just had 12 episodes.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it needs
yeah,
more,
I
doesn't
wish-
it?
Or even
Yeah,
just,
it
just
needs
or even
more.
just a tenth,
'Cause it's-
even just
Yeah, what a weird complaint that we're like our problem with the show is there's not enough.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
no, because like they are doing a really good job, and the problems with it is really just what they, for me personally, it's just what they decided to change.
yeah.
'Cause I love
time
everything
is
that they
precious.
kept. Yeah, time is precious, so why are you putting in this stuff that sometimes is not really needed, or you spend too long here. But yeah, like I mean, it is a really good episode and very good attention to detail for all the designs and everything like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
and I
bit
did
that
think
that
that
really made
very
this episode
faithful.
work for me was the sleeping bags bit at the very end, like how they closed it. It was that the running joke, the jeans running thing.
Yeah,
it
it was
It was
done
that
as
joke.
yeah,
laughing.
Yeah. So then they start laughing. It just
Yeah.
that moment reminded me of the concept art, where it was Joel and Ellie sitting by a fire. I think they had like marshmallows on a stick or something like that, and they're both just laughing. It was
Oh,
like one
right,
of the
yeah.
original kind of concept arts just to capture the tone of the relationship, and I think they captured it in that scene, and that's
Yeah.
kind of the heart of the show. I think they've
well-
gotten to it at that point.
Yeah, no, it's they have really like Joel and I could see a relationship there now between Joel and Ellie forming. I think it'll only get stronger as they go on now. Again, yeah, it's just that it was too short. Like I just wanted to spend time with Henry and Sam now and like get to the point where I would have thought it'd be nice to get out of the city in this episode, get into it and out of it. And
Yeah.
then spend some time down in the sewers in the next episode with Henry.
They're
and
not
Sam
doing the
and
sewers.
getting
They're
out
not
and-
doing the sewers.
No, I don't think they are.
They might
There's
briefly.
gonna be a big. I mean, well, okay, maybe you didn't see the preview for episode 5. I did.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, sure.
At
Okay.
the end
Well,
of
it won't
episode
matter
4,
because
there's a
like by the time this is out, everyone has seen episode
That's true.
5.
Yeah,
so it's there's no point even theorizing what will they do in episode 5 because
Now, what will they do in episode 5?
I liked
Uh,
I liked his little mask.
the superhero thing was
Yeah,
cool.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
It's
It
cool
kind
little
I think
detail.
that's not really anything to do with those characters, is it? But it kind of reminds me of the Ish. Is it Ish?
Yeah, it's ish.
They had little
sewers.
the school in the sewers. Didn't they have those type of little
Yeah.
drawings and stuff like that?
I think
Yeah.
so. But then there was also the fact that like Sam was like picking up no, it wasn't a superhero, but he picked up like the toy, and then Henry was telling him to drop it. So it is kind of keeping in tone with the fact that he is just a child.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
Actually, yeah, I just can't wait to have them spend time together.
Yeah,
know
this
what I
is
mean?
the first episode where I'm
Yeah.
like, I can't wait. Well, actually, no, that's not true. After the second episode, I was like, I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah.
But I think the cliffhanger here is very in line
It's
with
very
like
good.
old school kind of the way you run
This-
TV
yeah.
shows.
Yeah, this is the one where you go, no, keep going,
Yeah.
as opposed to okay, I'll wait till next week. Then.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the kind of feeling you have at the end.
It's a
Yeah,
good-
great.
good one.
I
It was a good one.
I do wish there was more consistency with the episodes. I wish there was like kind of more of a set length. Like, okay, they're typically an hour maybe each. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I thought the last one, as beautiful as it was too long and actually needed some trimming, and then this one was too short. You know, I needed more. Come on.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
the other two, the first two, I
Okay.
guess, maybe lengthwise, they're probably more in line with this one. It's only the fact that they have a prologue sequence.
Well, no, the first one was long, but I actually think the first and the last episode are allowed to be, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I feel like the first and the last episode could get away with being like an hour 20 or an hour 15, whatever. The other ones in the middle should all maybe just be like the hour mark,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Because I understand that the first episode has to set the tone before it can actually just be a first episode.
Yeah.
It has to set certain things. And the last episode has to kind of, finish it off. And I'd want them to take their time doing that and to do it right and to stick the landing on that ending. So but yeah, look, I'm excited for the rest of the show. That was fucking great. I was like grinning the whole way, especially with the whole sequence of the car.
The car's great, yeah.
Why these pages stuck together? I'm fucking with you.
Yeah, I'm glad they
That,
kept that in.
dude. I was like,
Cool.
yes,
Yes.
they did it.
Yes, very good.
Yeah. But now we'd love to hear from you guys. So that was the shortest discussion around the last one, but it was the shortest episode. There's only so much you can talk about with it, really. We'd love to hear from you guys, whether you're on YouTube or whether you're listening to us on audio platforms. Get in touch to let us know, what did you think of The Last of Us episode 4? Maybe you liked the length of it, or you would have liked it longer. Maybe you liked the changes. Maybe you're interested in new characters like Kathleen, or would you prefer to have just left them out and get straight on to Henry and Sam? Let us know your own thoughts, and also let us know your thoughts on anything else that we brought up in this episode. If you stuck around for the whole discussion, any of the games that we discussed, or the new Linkin Park song, all that stuff, jump down in the comments on YouTube if that's where you're checking this episode out. And if you enjoyed this one, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring that notification bell for all our future episodes, including the rest of the Last of Us series, which we will be covering week by week. And you guys listen to us on audio platforms. You can also touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take, again, to give your take on everything that we brought up in this episode. Thank you very much for checking this out. We'll be back to talk to you guys next time.
Bye,
dude.